The world of self-improvement is a messy space. It's full of content from morning routines to organising every minute of your day to become as efficient as possible. A few years back, I consumed so much of this content looking for answers, but instead I was just left feeling overwhelmed. I probably watched hundreds of hours of YouTube videos all about how to change my life for the better before it finally clicked, because pretty much all of the advice on what to do and what not to do can be simply broken down into one way of thinking. And the best part is, it's extremely simple. Long-term thinking over short-term thinking. So quite simply, this is the thought that you should be putting your future self first, whether that's you in a few decades time or you in a few hours time. It's the mindset that you do things so that your future self will say, I'm glad that I did that, as opposed to, yeah, I wish I had done that. And to show you exactly what I mean, I'll give you a few examples and I'll tell you about some of the biggest changes that I made to my life, which hopefully can be of value to you as well. So the first point is transitioning away from always seeking entertainment and instead opting to learn, even as an adult. I always used to seek entertainment at any given opportunity, whether that be through Netflix, TV, or just the type of content that I watch on YouTube. In the short term, you can sometimes just want to stare mindlessly and let some hours drift by, but having a student mindset allows you to find some purpose. It does for me, at least. Now, I'm definitely not saying that all entertainment is bad, that's definitely not the case, but I think if that's all you consume, then personally I think that could be a bit of a problem. However, in adopting a student mindset and watching educational content, listening to podcasts and reading books, which can still be entertaining by the way, you are then prioritizing your growth. And not only does that set you on a path where you're improving, but now you suddenly have to use your brain power as opposed to just sitting there and being pacified by entertainment. For me personally, I definitely noticed an upward trend in the trajectory of my life when I started to opt for education content as opposed to always going for entertainment. So I recently realized that the newest games console that I own is now 11 years old, which made me come to the realization that maybe I'm not a gamer anymore. Whether it was on a Game Boy, DS, GameCube or PlayStation, I was always playing games as a kid, clocking up hours each day, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. There was just something about following a story, unlocking new items, and leveling up my character, which I found really addictive. Now, of course, as I get older, I realize that they're just made that way to keep you on them, but as I spend less and less time playing video games over the years, something has become really obvious. As much as I really enjoy the many aspects of video games, the good feelings that I get from it always feels so short-lived. When you think about it, life really is a lot like a video game. We're essentially in a huge multiplayer server, all trying to get some gold to unlock some new perks. And on top of that, we all have the ability to level up our character however we like. So I think when I realized that I could just apply the core fundamentals from video games in real life and then get real life results, it just became really obvious where my time would be best spent. Now, I'm not saying that I won't ever hop on Warzone with the boys ever again, but I think my main focus just needs to be unlocking new skills in the real world. Probably the best thing that you can do for your future self is to have an active lifestyle. This is potentially the habit with the highest return on investment. Honestly, when I got into fitness at the age of 19, I just had to make peace with the fact that it would most likely be years before I got to a point where I actually had the body that I really wanted. And that was definitely the case. Of course, it's not all about image, but the condition of your body relates so much to the condition of your mind that if you want to get the best out of that, then you're going to have to look after your body. I recently heard this take on the Modern Wisdom podcast. 90% of issues can be solved by a good sleep, a glass of water, a gym session, a walk outdoors, or a chat with a friend. Now, of course, there will be exceptions and many things do go deeper than that, but just going off my personal experience, I would find it hard to argue with that statement. I notice straight away that I have a spring in my step if I can just do a few of these things each day. A good chat with a friend or a good gym session can really set the tone for the day ahead. It's so easy these days, especially when you work from home, to just be sat down, no sunlight, no talking. It really is tough, and I know this because I personally end up doing it quite a lot. However, knowing these simple fixes really do help me to get back on track. So yeah, look into the future. Being where you want to be physically will impact the rest of your life in a positive way. And again, it is long-term thinking, but your future self will definitely not be annoyed that you took time to look after your body. If anything, they're going to thank you for it. So the final long-term mindset to have is all about your relationship with finances. This can have a huge impact on how your life pans out, from your ability to do things that you enjoy, taking risks, looking after loved ones, and getting on the property ladder. So in a previous video, I mentioned that I think one of the best things that you can do in your 20s is to save and invest as early as possible to give yourself a bit more flexibility further down the line. And I don't want to bang on about it too much, but I really do think it is that important. Now, I fully understand at 18 or 21, it's not exactly fun to go super hard on saving or investing, but I think a lot of people often get caught up thinking it's just for retirement or just for later in life, and that definitely doesn't need to be the case. In reality though, being financially conscious at 21 could allow you to do some really amazing things at, say, 28. Whether that relates to traveling, property, or starting a business, so much then becomes possible. On the flip side, if you choose to ignore your finances and instead keep wasting money month to month without putting savings away, things can come back to bite. In the short term, I get it, it doesn't sound very fun and you might feel like you're missing out a bit, but the upside long term, if done correctly, is pretty exciting. In doing things that serve a purpose for the future, it's effectively giving you a purpose. Suddenly there's a reason for you to do these things because there's going to be a payoff down the line. That could be learning another language so that in the future you can explore a new culture, or learning new skills so that in the future you'll have better career prospects. I think when you start this journey and you begin to put your future self first, you're kind of thinking, oh, it's all about the future, but what actually happens is in real time things still get better. Ambition is pretty infectious, so don't be surprised if on this self-improvement journey new people and new opportunities start to present themselves. I definitely notice myself when I'm out there actively trying to learn new things and trying to achieve more, life around me just begins to get better. On the flip side though, at times when I've been a recluse and spent long periods of time just binging on mindless things, the world around me never lends a hand. So with all that being said, looking to the future and doing the best for your future self will result in great things, but remember it's not all about the destination, it is about the journey. So as you're on this path, enjoy the process. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Cheers.